Welcome to the Habits of the Few, where we discuss habits, rituals, and mindset tactics that you can use to reach your version of success. And now, here's your host, Mo Nabolsi.
In the new economy, your experience will not be enough. Joe Semaan, the modern day sales expert and the new economy influencer. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mo Nabolsi, and I want to welcome you to an incredible show today. We've got Joe Semaan, also known as Joe Coach. For over a decade, Joe has dedicated his career and life to understanding human performance in the business and sales world. Since then, Joe has mentored and given keynotes to over 300 organizations in over 20 industries, including audiences for giants like Microsoft, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Equinox, and many other leaders in the financial technology, professional services, and marketing verticals. During this time, he has built a reputation for doubling and tripling sales for thousands of professionals and dozens of companies. Joe teaches his clients and students that in order to remain competitive and grow, we must be willing to accelerate our speed of learning and commit to ongoing study of people, behavior patterns, technology, and self-improvement. Experience is the slowest way to learn. It will no longer suffice on its own in today's ultra-competitive economy. You must acquire a domination mindset. Sit back, relax, and please give a warm welcome to Joe Semaan.
Let's do this, baby.
Yeah.
It's the Mo and Joe show.
All right, so let's the Mo and Joe. You know what?
Mo and Joe show.
We're starting our own podcast, dude. We're starting our own podcast.
But don't get FOMO, baby. Get Jomo.
That's what I'm talking about, man. All right, well, let's start this off with a boom, okay? Because I want to get into talking about habits, the school system, and all that fun stuff. But let's start with the domination mindset. Let's just kill this whole thing off with a bang. What is the domination mindset by your definition of standard?
Okay, and this is a really exciting topic for me, Mo. It's also going to be kind of a frustrating, fascinating, and exciting topic for the audience all at the same time. So I hope you guys are ready for this because it might make you a little bit uncomfortable. You've heard the uncomfortable game. I'm going to make you uncomfortable, and I'm going to tell you why it's such a strategic advantage for your audience. It doesn't matter what your occupation is, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're a salesperson. This applies to everyone, especially if you plan on providing for your family over the next 5 to 10 years. Make sense?
Yeah, I'm comfortable being uncomfortable, so let's get it.
All right. You look like you're very uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. Here we go. So domination mindset. You know, I created these two concepts. One of them is called economic velocity. Let me say it again. Economic velocity. Economic velocity, if I define it for you, for the average Joe like me, is basically the rate at which the economy, all things in the economy are changing. Okay?
Okay.
Then you have something that I call intellectual velocity. Intellectual velocity is the rate at which you, as an individual, change and adapt. Okay?
Okay.
We were brought up, our society has conditioned, kind of programmed us to have an intellectual velocity, the rate at which I learn, the rate at which I grow, the rate at which I innovate, right, and make decisions. Let's just call it 55 miles per hour, all right?
Okay.
In another layman's terms, we say people learn by experience. Even when you go to job interviews, they're like, what's your experience like? Everybody's priding themselves with their experience. I'm here to tell you that the days of experience, seniority, and how many years have you been in the industry, those days are gone, dude. Those days are gone. Yes, experience has some decent qualities, like you become resilient. Sometimes you become less emotional or less reactive about silly things. You become more mature, you know, with experience. You learn to recognize, you know, certain scenarios or mistakes before they happen. You learn to write. But experience, mark my words, here's a big one for your audience. Experience is the slowest, least competitive way to learn in the new economy, okay? So if you're learning by experience or 55 miles per hour, you're not going to be very valuable in the marketplace, regardless of your occupation: doctor, lawyer, surgeon, programmer, salesperson, school teacher, college instructor, whatever you do, right? Designer, whatever you do. If your intellectual velocity is way slower than the economy, what you're going to find is you have tons of experience and you still can't live the life that you want. So
that's true.
domination mindset is first understanding there's something I call the dumber curve. And it's basically an exponential curve. If you can imagine, an exponential curve is constantly sweeping upwards, but the rate at which you would start to learn is fairly level. So as time goes on, it's not as if you're losing skills. It's just you acquire skills so slowly that in perspective, in the big picture, in the economy, you're actually becoming dumber. Or
I really hope you're going to tell us how we're going to, I really hope you're going to share with us how we can speed up the process.
I really am. It's for a small fee of $9,009. No, I'm just kidding, dude. So, I mean, this is the same thing that drew me into speak at Microsoft, to Bank of America, Wells Fargo. I mean, a lot of big outfits out there, big retail chains and whatnot, really caught their attention because they're like, oh my God, I think you just summarized what's happening. I mean, a lot of times I hear companies say, dude, I really want to train everybody, but I'm having a really difficult time finding good people. And I'm like, stop. You're not having a good time finding good people. You're finding good people who lack the skills to be good in this economy. Because they're learning from the people around them, and those people are learning from the people around them, and your skills are being passed down from generation to generation, which don't necessarily apply anymore.
So then what would be the alternative? If experience is the ladder of how we learn anything, right? Adapting and evolving and getting some skin in the game.
Right.
What would be the other option? Like, because traditional education is bullshit, in my opinion.
We'll get to that part, right?
Yeah. So.
I mean, look, man, people who listen to podcasts and this and that, we know it is. Yeah. The majority of people don't know it is. They're still pressuring, their kids and whatnot, and that's okay. We'll obviously we need our schooling system for several reasons. We're just saying it's time to. I don't want to get too deep into it because I can run. You and I can run on that topic for days. But to get back to the solution is you have to normalize learning, accelerated learning, studying, reading, practicing, rehearsing needs to become a daily part of your lifestyle. Just like taking a shower, just like picking out nutritious food, just like possibly hitting the gym, you have to normalize learning. You have to accelerate learning. When I was watching a panel that had Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, back then it was Steve Jobs, et cetera, I think Mark Z was on there too. They're like, what are the 2 skills? If you could pick any 2 skills and go back in time and do it all over again, what would they be? You would think they would be like something to do with technology or something to do with the internet or something, right? Yeah. Something popular. And they're like, no. The number 1 skill they wish they had was the ability to learn faster than anyone else. Because they're so entrenched in this economy, they're starting to realize that is a skill. It's not a thing. It's not a thing of education. It's not the educational system's responsibility. It's not the president's responsibility. It's not subsidized responsibility. It's your responsibility because you have the fucking internet in your hand.
Yep.
So accelerated learning. The second skill that they said if they could go back and master it all over again, get this is why I love my career and I'll probably have a job forever. Persuasion.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ethical and meaningful persuasion, which is my specialty, domination selling. So that's the answer, is to normalize learning and tell people say all the time, dude, you're coaching, you're inspiring me. You're out there coaching dozens of companies every month. You've been over to almost 400 organizations now. And I'm like, what's kind of funny is you guys only see the parts where I'm coaching. You don't see the other 70% of the week where I'm learning, because I'm concerned that I have the responsibility of other people's lives in my hands. And what if I'm not learning fast enough to help them grow?
So how do you overcome the too much information that is out in the world? Okay. Like for instance, I want to learn persuasion. I want to be a master of persuasion. How am I going to be able to decipher the good from the bad and not be, just having like information overload, because the internet is kind of a double-edged sword.
Great question. That's a really good question, dude. That question is such a savvy question, because that's the reason most people don't even start.
Yeah, because it's overwhelming.
It's like, which diet do I pick, bro?
Yeah. Like,
which sales philosophy do I pick? Like, which industry, So here's my answer for that. I'm a big fan of it. I'm not sure if you've seen this on some of my recent videos, but you got some people that I really, really respect out there, like Grant Cardone and Dan Locke, blah, blah. Yeah. And a lot of them preach that you don't need a bunch of mentors. You only need one mentor. Everybody's out there feeding you misinformation. Well, I believe that not one person can be all you need for what you do. Agreed. Okay, I'm not the best sales mentor for every industry in the world. I can help you dominate in several aspects of it. But here's what I recommend. Here's what I do in my life. It's called modified learning. I do the same thing with my diet. I do the same thing with my schedule. I do the same thing with my morning routine. Some people tell me their morning routine. I'm like, I don't think that's going to work for me. You know what I mean? So you go out there and you experiment. And I want the audience to recognize that there's a skill that God gave us. It's a divine right. We all have it. We had it when we were babies. We had it when we were 5 years old. We start to lose it over time. And that skill is called common sense. And you experiment with different people that you feel are respectable, or they have a decent following, or you enjoy their messages. You respect them for some reason. You look up to them. You admire them. And then you think about what they're saying. And you go, look, does this apply itself well? Does it seem like it would fit my industry, my career, my this, my that? And should I experiment with it? Well, let me experiment with it and see how it goes. And then you go and you sample something else. And granted, the process of excellence is not an overnight process. I tell my clients straight up, guys, you hear me flow like I have some type of magic wand in my brain that's just got me on this unstoppable, regardless of the industry I'm in, even if I've never sold in that industry, I can begin flowing in the industry from day one. I have to remember and not take for granted that took me 14 to 16 years to practice. Yep. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're seeing the 16-year practice. You're seeing the Kobe version. You're not seeing the what the fuck is going on with my life version. Mm-hmm. So it's like I said, normalize this experimentation, normalize this learning, make it a part of your daily routine. You don't have to come home every single day and work out, but you know what? If you work out 3 to 4 days a week, you're going to see a massive change in your life. If you study and research people who are admired in your industry, or people who you just type in, into this thing called Google, you just start typing things that might be relevant. And you start to come across people you never heard of. I would still walk into companies that don't know who Tony Robbins is.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding you, dude. Sales professionals who don't know who Tony Robbins is, don't know who Grant Cardone is, don't know. They have no clue. They're so stuck in the matrix of mediocrity of society. They know exactly what product line, Kim Kardashian is launching. They know exactly what is happening, on CNN today. They know exactly what's happening, right? They know all this bullshit. But they have no idea who some of the most successful people in their line of work are, and then they complain about not making enough money.
Wow.
And you have a cell phone on your hand where you're connected to the entire world for the first time in the history of man.
Not only connected, everybody is their own media company. You know how expensive it was to run a television ad, and how expensive it still is? And you can access to millions of people, and people are still complaining.
See, the thing is saying that to our audience is not necessarily going to make them change.
No.
It's providing the tools to help them, do it. I was just meeting with earlier today with one of my video media teams. Because having a media team, if you want to grow your brand, is now a full-time position.
Yep.
It's no longer a special project. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? My online presence should be 1,000 times bigger than what it is. I mean, I have mentored more people in person than these other guys with 500,000 followers have done even online.
I believe that.
Over 35,000 people in 14 years and over 350 organizations, but I have 13,000 followers on Instagram. I should have done this 2.5, 3 years ago. Why didn't I? Because I wasn't sure what the first step was. Right. I didn't know what the process was. And not knowing what skills I need, or what the process is, or what the steps are, leads to procrastination and fear. So we have to.
That's, dude, I just want to just real quick take a pause there. Yeah. That is the fucking truth. Because, like, what you're teaching right now is basic. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's basic in the sense that you can comprehend and understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. And if you were to actually think about it for a moment, like you said, you know, we lost this common sense, or we started developing at 5. We said we lost it around 5 years old, or we lost it as an adulthood, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, right, over time.
Yeah, I believe that from a practicality standpoint, that what you said is 100% accurate, because me getting into the business, because I've been in this industry for 17 years, the marketing space. And, you know, I've been a business owner for about 8 years or so. Like, in the beginning, it was paralyzing, because I would just freeze up because I didn't know which route to take. I didn't know what to do. There's too much information. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know who to go look after. I didn't know who to model after, you know, and it's paralyzing. And then you're just like, fuck it. I don't even know what to do.
Dude, it's story time, bro. You're hitting me right in the heart right now, right in the heart right now, bro.
Let's do it. I want to hear stories. I want to hear story.
So, like many people who are in sales or any type of position where, you know, it's based on your performance, whether it's your next promotion or your next bonus or whatever it is, we have a lot of ups and downs. We tend to have sort of a roller coaster ride when it comes to our income. And when our income goes up, everybody can kind of tell. And when our income goes down, everybody can kind of tell. I have this little saying that I've been sharing people, and I say, no matter what your circumstances is, everybody is keeping score on you.
Fucking right.
Your loved ones, I love you, they're keeping score on you.
Yep.
Your in-laws, hey, Habibi, what's going on? They're keeping I got you, bro. They're keeping score on you, man. She might be whispering in your wife's ear right now, I told you you should have fucking married George. You know what I mean? So everybody's keeping score. So I call this, quote unquote, here's my name. Don't know if anybody steal it. I love you. You can steal it. You can use it. Just throw my tag on. It's called your respect score. And I was tired of seeing my respect score go up and go down, go up and go down. And then after the big recession, you know, when I moved to California in 2002, it was an overnight decision. I'm sort of getting over the podcast where we spend 40 minutes talking about our hardship and then 10 minutes providing value. So I'll give you the short version.
You're fine.
In 2002, I made an overnight decision to move to California. I was broke, and I had, you know how we said small decisions lead to big results?
Yep.
I was sitting there, I woke up in the morning, and I'm like, dude, it's 9 degrees outside. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I got laid off after 9/11. A bunch of things changed in the technology sector. And I'm practically broke. And then I remember thinking, if I'm broke, I can be broke anywhere. Why don't I go be broke in 80-degree weather?
Ooh.
So, boom, overnight decision, lived and slept in my car for about 4.5 months. Eventually stumbled across the mortgage business. Now, if you remember the mortgage business in 2002, what was happening?
It was blowing up.
It was blowing up, dude. And I had decent skills. I had a college degree. I had sales experience. So I was an easy hire for them. And I made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Fast forward in 2006, after my biggest month ever, I think I made something like 60 or 70 grand that month. I was thinking, look, I'm noticing something weird happening with my salespeople. At that time, we had about 600 people in our company, about 100 people on my team. I was 28 years old, 28-year-old sales director.
Good for you.
And I'm like, what's going on here? Like, a few people are killing it. Most people are average. I'm noticing all these coaches going around just repeating what Tony Robbins is doing and making like 40 grand a month. I'm like, I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to make an executive decision and jump out and try this while things are hot. I have a great reputation right now. I've got a great story. Great. 2 years, a year and a half goes by. The economy crashes, and guess what happens to all my money and my respect score?
It went bye-bye.
Bye. In fact, it was negative now, because when you make a lot of money, you accumulate a lot of things.
Yep.
And a lot of credit.
Yep.
So now I'm about to turn 30. My house, I have to lose my house. 2 months later, things get worse, and I end up getting 3 months later, I end up getting evicted out of my apartment.
Oh, fuck.
All this is happening at like lightning speed, dude. Like, I'm literally sitting there moving out of my apartment numb, thinking, fuck. I mean, I lived in my car before. I'll secretly do it again. And at the time, I had already started my coaching business. So, and I'm thinking, what is going on? Like, I was going out there trying to coach people on what I knew. I knew mortgage, I knew real estate, I knew insurance, I knew, the things that I know. And they're all, kind of like, dude, we're in the middle of a recession. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, one company told me at a banking office, they go, bro, we'd love to bring you in. That makes sense. Like, I believe you. But he goes, dude, we're not even buying water for our people right now. We don't even have our water. We don't even have our Culligan man coming in.
Wow.
And I was like, what is the problem? And I was sitting there one time, in that apartment when I knew that it was all coming to an end, at least financially, temporarily. And I described this on stage a few weeks ago at a conference. And I'm like, all of a sudden, without any warning, without any emotional warning, I just collapsed and started crying.
In front of everybody?
No, I was in the shower. I don't shower in front of everybody like you.
I didn't even.
I don't know what kind of thing you're into, bro. But I shower mostly alone.
I thought you were still in the office. My bad.
Unless I got a little something with me, But so I'm saying I just collapsed, and I'm like, look, just pray, go to sleep. I at that time I had the blessing of at least coming across a lot of good people, a lot of inspiring things. I was very already educated by people like Tony Robbins and many others, Brian Tracy, yada yada, from a very young age. And I woke up the next morning, and one of the most important days of my life happened. And there's people in your audience right now, and you better fucking listen, because this might be the one thing that you need to hear to finally get you out of your freaking box that's limiting you from your true potential. I woke up and I said, if I was really that good, out of all the hundreds and hundreds of people that I know in one of the richest corporate societies in America, my phone would be blowing up. And it's not. You're not that fucking good, Joe. You're a good person and you've done well at times, but the truth is you only made money during the perfect storm.
And how did you get yourself out of that?
I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to learn and study and become a student of whoever, whatever, whenever it takes, so that I become so good, so skilled, that provides so much value that it is unquestionable. It is unquestionable on whether or not people will allow me into their companies and to their minds and to their families and to their life.
So what happened though after that breakdown of a moment in the shower?
I started searching. I had a lot of free time because hardly any companies wanted to hire me or pay me. So I had barely enough to pay some bills and continue to live coming in. And I remember one of my friends, it's so funny, your close friends sometimes don't want to see it. Somebody who wasn't even that close, more of an acquaintance, recognized my situation kind of indirectly and offered me to sleep on a mattress in his living room. And during that time I had a lot of free time. So I would use the internet, and I would go out and I would search, and I would just start typing random things. And I would start asking people or emailing people, what should I do? What should I study? And, I knew certain people that worked for the Tony Robbins group, and I'm like, where should I go? Point me in the right direction. And they started, I started out with very common things that you should know about if you're in sales, like NLP.
Yep.
So I was studying NLP. Then I started to realize that there's so much research out there, cutting edge research that's happening all the time that we don't even know about because nobody asks about it. When you go into a job interview, everybody goes, tell me about your experience. What was your highlight at this last job? You said you were a top producer. Man, I got some news for you, bro. Top producers don't fucking interview. But in the reality of things, I was like, what do I need to learn? And I would spend hours and hours and hours in that apartment and at the pool, laying out and reading and listening with headphones and markers and pens and repeating and going over it and reviewing. And then I would look at the industries that I had access to, and I would say, how would this apply? How can I decode this to make sense in the industry that I'm working in, or that I'm coaching in, or that I'm selling to? What does this mean for our sales process? What does this mean? How can I better understand our customers? Why are so many people so talented yet failing? What does this mean for them? How can I use this to deliver a message that creates change? How can I use this to create a system for accountability? And it was just an accelerated learning process. That's all I was doing, was forcing myself to look for new topics And I started to get into research from people like the Gallup Foundation, Harvard Business Research, Forbes Research, and many other publications out there that after a short period of time put their case study and their reviews out there either on the internet or in publications that you can subscribe to.
Wow.
And people that are, you got companies that are paying $15 to $20 million a year for cutting edge research on everything from organizational behavior, consumer behavior, sales, direct selling, systems, culture, company culture, all these things that are being released, but people don't read that shit. You know what people read? People magazine.
Yep.
Car and Driver, Cosmo, TMZ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
stuck in the matrix, keeping you occupied and distracted with things that don't allow you progress so that the few can remain the few.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God, I've never been to an interview, not one, where they said, Joe, you say you're great at persuasion. You say you're good with people. You say you have great communication skills. Isn't that what it says on your resume, Joe? Yes. What type of communication are you studying this year? What courses are you taking right now? Oh, my degree. No, I'm not talking about your degree, Joe. It's 2019. How are you becoming a communication expert since you claim to be so good at communication? Let me tell you something, Joe. You wouldn't be here if you were making money where you were at. In fact, you wouldn't even have a resume online if you were exceptional. Somebody would have recruited your ass and offered you more money.
Yep.
So let's.
That must have hurt a little bit.
People don't want me in their interviews, man. Oh man, Joe, you scare the shit out of people, dog. And I'm like, good, because the person who's ready for the truth will say, I'm ready. I'm committed. Teach me. If you're a good person, you'll do good things. And that's why you hear a lot of the greats, a lot of cool dudes right now, like Patrick Bet-David and guys like you and other people out there like, look, man, Patrick just released a video several weeks ago. I'm like, oh my God, I got to record this, right? Yeah. Because as knowledgeable as he and many others are, there's still millions of people that aren't paying attention. And he said, for the first time in history, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, who was the other one? A bunch of other companies. For the first time in history, they no longer require a 4-year degree to work there.
About damn time.
Because by the time that information gets into a college and you learn it, it's already outdated.
Yep.
It's more about character, your ability to learn, your common sense skills, your critical thinking skills, your identity, your habits, you as a person. That's what's more important right now. The rest, we're going to have to teach. There's no program like we educate you for 6 months and you're done. These companies don't work that way anymore. You know how often they educate you? Constantly. It doesn't stop. You don't get certified and then you're done. That's fucking the old economy, not the new economy. You have to constantly learn. And not only that, if you're in a domination mindset, you're not saying, oh my God, look what our competition's doing. Let's learn it. That's reactive. If you're watching your competition to be competitive, hear me out, audience. I love you guys, but I'm going to spit the truth right now, and it's up to you whether or not you want to accept it. It's all how stubborn you are and how honest with you are with yourself and how much self-respect you have for yourself and how you want to perceive reality on your own, because your own personal reality might be what's keeping you from providing what your family really deserves. But let me say this to you. You thinking that you're going to be able to compete or be competitive in this economy while reacting to other people's success is what's going to lead you to your failure. If you're constantly looking at what your competition is doing, you are not in a domination mindset. You are in a reactive mindset. You react. And by that time, it may be too late to take the lead or be somebody prominent or profound or respected in your industry. Does that make sense to you, Mo?
Oh, 100%. When you're ready, I have a follow-up question to that statement.
Yeah, so I'm not saying ignore your competition. Keep your eyes on the game and look at what's going on. but don't make that your focal point. Make your focal point understanding your audience, understanding your energy, and projecting 3 to 6 years ahead on what you're going to have to start developing skills-wise, systems-wise, culture-wise, and product-wise right now. That's a domination mindset.
100%. So my question is, I feel like true entrepreneurs, not the entrepreneurs that are putting CEO in their title of Instagram and they're 22 years old. I'm not saying that there aren't 22-year-olds that are CEOs and founders of, SaaS companies and God knows what else. I'm just saying the majority, because I feel like, okay, so if we were at war and starting a business is the battlefield, then right now we're basically in peacetime. I think it's one of the easiest times in the world to make money, to grow a business, to be profitable, to create something than it was, in like the 1980s, early 1990s. Hell, even in 2000, 2001, from the internet era, it is much easier now to actually do something. So what happens is that, you're kind of just going with the flow. Like, Gary Vee talks about this a lot. He says, if you can't make it now in today's economy on the internet, you suck. And I agree to an extent, because you do have a platform that never existed before. But at the same token, a true-blooded entrepreneur is a guy or a gal that is constantly evolving. Everything that you describe it. Day in and day out, trying to study, hone their craft, hone their skills, and not reacting to the people that have found success, but trying to either innovate or stay ahead of the curve, right? What about everybody else? Because I believe that the human population is kind of separated, it's divided. You've got workers, and then you've got the entrepreneurs that build shit. So I guess my question to you is, how can we get somebody that is like on the career path to follow these guidelines and succeed?
Okay, so we need both. Because just because you work somewhere as an employee doesn't mean that you can't have an entrepreneurial mindset.
Agreed, 100%.
I love Gary's definition of an entrepreneur is basically somebody who would rather compete with cockroaches for breadcrumbs on the floor than work for someone else.
Yep.
Okay. However, I disagree with some of us, like you just call us more mature in our career professionals. I think that within the next 5 years, there will be more successful under 30-year-old CEOs than there are in our age group.
I agree.
Because their intellectual velocity is way faster than yours and mine.
100%.
Now, if they want to fake it for a little bit, cool.
Yes.
Guess what? I still wore a suit when I was living in my car.
Right. No, I faked it for a little bit too, man. I faked the funk. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I think right now it in some sense it is easier to
It is easy.
Start a business for free, literally for free.
Yeah. See, the you don't have to be just my opinion. You don't have to be a gung-ho by nature entrepreneur to have a business. Now, here's my perspective. Let's go back 150 years.
Okay.
When our schooling system was not even existent as it is right now.
Yep.
The schooling system as we know it was created after the Industrial Revolution because it was difficult to find 400 people to work in a factory to put on bolts for minimum wage.
Agreed.
Families were tradesmen. Your family did metals. My family were carpenters. They really were carpenters. My father, my grandfather, my uncles, their grandfather, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when you were 9 years old, you came in and you helped run the business.
Yep.
And your sister helped clean the house and helped, with the neighbors and you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you all ran the business in some way, shape, or form.
Correct.
My aunts used to go to military bases in Lebanon and collect their clothing and go home and use what we had to clean clothing and dry them. They were really good at that. And they brought it back and they earned a living. So they were all entrepreneurs. They didn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
we need more entrepreneurs. We're the ones scaring them, going, you're not a real entrepreneur. Dude, what is a real entrepreneur? I mean, my aunts used to, at 12 years old, used to run around town and go, close, close, close. You know what I mean? So we went through this industrial revolution where, you know, Prince Ia says it really well. He goes, we were manufactured in school to work in manufacturing environments.
Agreed.
Do we really need 4 years of algebra?
Fuck no.
Do we really need 3 years of social studies? It's nice to know those things. I think we should incorporate them into our schooling and for our kids to have perspective and a sense of history and basics and knowledge and have organized learning and teamwork, right?
Right.
But no, we don't. In my opinion, this is a really strong opinion, and about 20% of the crowd is going to go, holy shit, he's right. You know, the other scholars out there, the A students, are going to go, no, we still need school, dude. I'm glad you still have a fucking A. Let's see whose bank account is big. Anyway, what I'm saying is I believe, because there's evidence of this, that the schooling system was designed to distract you during your most absorbent ages, your most innovative ages, so that you don't want to be an entrepreneur because we need employees.
Yep.
And if you look at pictures from the Industrial Revolution, especially during the war, they couldn't get men to work in the factories because most men were what? Entrepreneurs. So if you look at a lot of pictures, it was all women and housewives working in the factories. More power to them. I think women should be blowing it up in this economy and be an entrepreneur and doing their thing as much as possible, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But you could not come up to my father's family, who were skills men, had their own business, made their own schedules, and be like, hey, would you like to help assemble this door? We'll pay you 50 cents.
Absolutely not.
Oh, hell no. Are you kidding me? The pride of my family business, I don't care if we make coffins. It's been the family business. So the U.S., from what I understand, from what I read, the U.S., Great Britain, and France went and recruited some of the people, some of the guys, the influencers in Germany and Italy that were advisors to the system during Hitler's reign.
Wow.
To help us design a schooling system where we could control the upbringing of our citizens.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
No, bro, go research it. It's not a secret. It's just not popular.
Wow.
I mean, I would quote their names, but I haven't memorized their names. It's been a while since I was doing research on that. And that's one of the reasons we might finish on how I admire teachers. And there's a lot of good people out there in the schooling system, and they really are trying to do the best they can for their youth, but they may not know any better. And we all need to get together, not necessarily with the help of the government. We don't need the government anymore for this. And I think we have a reasonable government. Let them do governmental things. I don't think the government is ever going to be inspired to make an amazing schooling system. Not our government. I mean, maybe China's government, maybe India's government, maybe Egypt's government, not ours.
Mm.
They're more interested in politics and business and industry and international trade and things like that. But we have enough of us now that are connected via the internet and our relationships and our circles, just how you and I met.
Correct.
To create a privatized schooling system, an alternative choice or a supplemental choice for families. And some communities are already doing this. But I mean incorporating both local supervision and internet learning so that it can be not only savvy and help prepare our country for truly being competitive in the international economy, but also educating our children in a way that gives them skills that will help them be true, proper leaders for our country and for their families in the future.
I think that's brilliant. To be quite honest with you, that's primarily why, like, my wife and I fight about this a lot. I tell them that I want to homeschool the kids. So we got them, they're going to be going into kindergarten, and we got them into local charter school, private charter school, that the way that they're set up, they're on this really unique system. Individualized classes are incredibly small. We're talking like 10 kids a class.
Yep.
And they teach them based on their first couple years, but kindergarten specifically, they identify their preferred form of learning and adaptation. So are you visual, auditory? Do you have to read? Do you learn through osmosis? It's really fascinating. If the system, I think, was set up like that, I mean, we're going to see, we're going to test it, but it's the best thing I've seen so far, other than,
I'm pretty familiar with it. My brother, who's a 20-year retiree of the U.S. Navy, their kids, they put their kids now in that type of same thing. It's like a 35 minute drive, but that's where they go.
Yeah, I mean,
what I'm saying is we're privileged because we can afford that.
Correct.
But imagine a schooling system that costs like $79 a month for the parent.
That would be phenomenal, and that's what it should be.
And then there's localized supervision, like you come for tests, you show up for group activities, so you can congregate and have community and things like that, and you still have sports and yada yada yada, or community activities, right?
Right.
Or maybe you go to school, but you're also involved in this private learning program. That's why I love kids like Caleb Maddox and all those guys, because they're actually creating alternative schools online for youth. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be a leader in that. I'm just saying I would like to be part of the ensemble of people who help make it a basically a massive movement throughout the country and hopefully throughout the world. I don't know. But I'm tired of relying on people thinking that the government's going to make the quality of your life better. Dude, if you're complaining about taxes all the time, you don't make enough money, bro.
Yeah.
If you're complaining about something, you're not good enough, bro. If you're still hoping that, if you're, a 19-year-old, adult, and your dad works in the coal business and they're struggling to keep their jobs, you need to be the one to go, instead of trying to defend my dad's job, I'm going to hope that they're able to, maintain for a while. This is a sign for me to be like, I can't be romantic and beg the government to help us just because I don't have any fucking skills that apply in this economy.
And I think that's the true definition of an entrepreneur. Someone that's willing to do whatever it takes and really take their own life in their own hands. I mean, that you know what I mean? Like,
but that's not just an entrepreneur mindset. That needs to happen whether you're an engineer, you're studying to be an attorney, you're a nurse, you work in an accounting firm. You all have to learn how to accelerate your skills, how to add value. Otherwise, what's going to happen is the world and the economy is becoming so competitive and so expensive that if you don't constantly find ways to provide value, you might get your small raises along the way, but there's eventually going to be a huge gap between how much you make and how much things cost. And your lifestyle is either going to become stuck, or you're going to have to constantly be budgeting into a lifestyle that's not the lifestyle you had hoped for when you first graduated or when you began working. So, I mean, millions of Americans are. Listen, look at these two things right here. For our audience who knows what the fuck is going on out there, unemployment is at an all-time low. You get it? We're at like 3%, which means everybody has jobs. But credit card debt is at 1.3 trillion, 4 times higher than the last recession.
Whoa.
So what does that mean? Everybody has jobs, but they don't make enough money.
Yep.
They want to live a lifestyle that they truly can't afford. It might not be super, super lavish, but that gap is becoming bigger. That bubble is becoming bigger. And it's not because Americans spend too much money. Okay, not every American rolls around in a Rolls Royce and a Mercedes. What happens is we do, as Americans, we do like to keep up with the Joneses a little bit, but really what's happening is you don't provide enough value to support the lifestyle that you want. And you don't have to be an entrepreneur to learn that. Because Because the more we make these conversations about becoming an entrepreneur, do we need more entrepreneurs? Yes. I love what, again, Patrick Bet-David said. If we need about 20 million more entrepreneurs in this country, we'd solve a lot of problems. But that's not for everybody. And that doesn't make everybody happy either. But you don't have to be an entrepreneur to have accelerated learning. I don't care what you do. You better learn fast, bro or sis. You better learn faster, and you better get with the program faster and stop complaining how everybody's playing with their cell phone. Because that person sitting across the restaurant playing on their cell phone might have just closed a $5,000 deal while you're sitting there bitching about your life.
Yep. God, that's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Are we dropping some bombs with you? Are you happy with my podcast quality, Mo?
I'm very happy with it.
Will you invite me back, bro?
Hell yeah, man.
We got to hang out in person, man. I can't just deal with the virtual. I need a hug.
I know. I got to make a trip out to Cali. Anyway, I want to take the kids to Disneyland.
You should. I mean, my area sucks. It's like right next to Newport Beach. I mean, there's beautiful high rise and weather's amazing. You probably wouldn't want to visit here very often.
Oh, God, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Sounds beautiful, man.
My mother was here a few weeks ago. She's 75 years old. She's one of the most amazing women in the world. Her faith is great. Her qualities are great. The way she raises, her food is just amazing. I gained like 10 pounds while she was here.
That's how it happens.
And, it's not like she could just drive wherever she wants. She doesn't know where to go, and things are all spread out here. But she's already telling me, she's like, I'm just going to come spend more time with you here. It's just beautiful here, And it just goes to show, like, when I first moved here, here's just some fun combo, because we've been unleashing the beast on your audience for a while now. But when I first moved here, living out of my car, I can remember thinking, even while I was broke, wow, this is success. Because when you're going from 9 degrees to 80 degrees in February, it just happened to be a really warm February, which we didn't get this year. I was literally waking up in the driver's seat of a Dodge Intrepid that was kind of a junkie, but a very grateful hand-me-down from my brother, because my car in Chicago got repoed. Mm-hmm. And I remember waking up in the mornings at like 5 a.m. with the sun beating down on my face. And although sometimes I would feel upset or lonely or momentarily depressed, luckily I was strong to snap out of it, but I still felt lucky. Like, damn, dude, am I really in California right now? Is it really 80 degrees right now? And I remember my best friend calling me from Chicago Concern. He's just a great guy. He goes, hello? I'm like, hello? He's like, where are you? And I'm like, at the moment, I'm sitting in the parking lot by this restaurant. I just ordered a sandwich for 99 cents, and I'm drinking a water, and life is good. He goes, how much money do you have, bro? I'm like, right now, enough. He's like, how much do you have? I'm like, $7. But let me ask you this. What's the temperature over there? And he just started laughing. He's like, you know what, man? I'm proud of you, dude. You're broke as fuck. and you're still keeping a positive mindset. And that's the one thing I think that I never take for granted is, like, I always tell people, look, man, get upset, get emotional, cry a few tears, and then go, but did I die? No, get up. It's part of the story. It's part of your journeys. Brush off your freaking shoulders, dry off your face, hit the floor and do some freaking push-ups, whatever you got to do. And then get up and go, all right, so what now? What do I do now? And that'll get you through a lot of things in life.
Well, that's the end of the podcast. I strongly urge you guys to go through it again, take out a notebook, and start taking some critical notes. What he has discussed are incredible bits of information that will either shape your life from a positive perspective or a negative perspective here in the next 5, 10, 50 years. Okay? This new economy that Joe is talking about, it's happening. It will either be blowing right past you, or you will jump on this and utilize this new economy to propel yourself into success, whether it be in your field, in your marriage, in your life, what have you. All the principles that he has talked about, yes, they're more financially solvent than anything, but the practicality of it, you can adopt that into your own life, into your own being, right? Learn better, learn faster. Learning through osmosis is too slow. Learning through experience is too slow. Anyways, check us out. Tag us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the YouTubes, at Habits of the Few. If you like it, please leave a comment, review, a thumbs up, like, whatever. We appreciate you. And listen, as always, if anybody that you know could benefit from this, please share it with them.